The most important thing that I've learned driving a cab is how to read people in about 5 seconds or less. You know, the first thing you want to know is that person going to hurt you? You know, you're on the lookout for someone who might be trying to rob you or take your cab or whatever. So, you know, if somebody has their hand in the air, you pull over and you look at them, and you have to make an assessment of them right then and there. Who's this person? What are they going to do? Are they going to pay me? All that stuff. And believe me, early on, I've made some mistakes. You know, the object of the game is to not let the wrong person in the cab because, you know, I mean, you get killed. It's a really dangerous job. One year we had like 10 taxi drivers killed in the city of Boston. 1 year. Yeah, you know, I think it was like the beginning of that whole crack craze back in like the 80s. Yeah, guys were getting shot for 25 bucks, 50 bucks. You know, some people, the wrong person gets in a cab, you take them to a bad neighborhood, and you end up with a bullet. A friend of mine actually got shot in the chest by a small caliber handgun. It hit him right in the breastplate, and he literally pulled the bullet out of himself and drove himself to Boston City Hospital. I started when I was 23 and I'm 51 now. When I first learned to drive a cab, what I was taught was you were supposed to help people. And these days, it really seems to be all about screwing the other guy. But hey, that's probably, you know, what life is, how life has changed, you know, in the past 28 years. I've seen some pretty good accidents out there. On a Friday night, I was going up Starl Drive, and state police cruisers like parked sideways in the middle of Starl Drive. And I was like the first guy in line next to the cruiser, and I'm sitting there, you know, waiting patiently. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And finally, I got out of the cab, and I went over. The trooper was out of his car. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I looked beyond him, and there was a dead body lying in the middle of Starl Drive. Okay, so finally, you know, they had other emergency equipment show up, and they made a lane for the traffic to pass that was backing up. Strangely enough, this guy was a homeless guy who got hit running across Starl Drive in the middle of the night by another cab. And the cab had a passenger, a woman who, when she got home to Jamaica Plain, called the police and said, "I think my driver hit somebody on Starl Drive." Sure enough, they tracked the guy down and caught him, charged him with vehicular homicide. I picked up a homeless guy once, and I didn't realize it. I picked him up on Tremont Street, and as we were coming down Tremont Street to Neyland Street, I took a left. He said, "Take me to South Station." And I was hearing I was listening to my two-way radio, and I was hearing all this noise in the back seat of the car. And it turns out that he had a shopping bag from Woolworths at Downtown Crossing. He was actually changing his entire clothes, underwear, socks, everything, in the back seat of my cab. And when I got rid of him, the next woman that got in at South Station got in, and I swear to God, she said, "My God, it smells like a homeless person." I didn't tell her. You're driving, and you lose any consciousness of your day-to-day life. You know, you just can't think about anything else. So it is like Zen. You just get in that car, and you know, I start thinking that I'm Paul Newman in a race car or something, and that's how I drive. And I love driving. If there's a single truth about the taxi industry, it goes like this: they all come back. And I never believed it when I was 23 years old. I used to go to Puerto Rico for 6 months, come back here for 6 months. And there was a little guy named Cabbie that worked in our garage, a little Italian guy from Revere. And every year when I would come back, he'd say, "They all come back." And it's really turned out to be true as I've gone through the years. I see all these guys, they disappear for years, a year, 10 years, 5 years. And sure enough, they all come back.